We are back. You are chatting with John P. Today, I'm going to be talking about why Tudor has really lost its buzz in the watch collecting community. That's right. I know many people still enjoy Tudor. Even myself, I think Tudor does a great job at manufacturing watches, and I think their marketing is also it's good. It's very good. It's more than sufficient in my opinion. But in recent times, there's just been a loss of a buzz for the brand. Collectors have moved on to other things. I'm going to talk about it, but once again, please do not forget the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And of course, you can check out delraywatch.com, where at the time of this posting, we have a ton of new things that we just got in, especially for you collectors at the new market prices, which I talked about in a previous video. The market's coming down a little bit, kind of tied towards the equity markets, and I think we're seeing some really good deals in the watches today. On the wrist, I've got a vintage IWC by Tudor. I love this double-signed watch, beautiful vintage watch. And this is the corner of my office where I sit back here with my business phone. There's more behind, and maybe I'll walk around in a bit later, but let's talk about it. Tudor watches. Tudor was so hot about a year ago. You couldn't get the Black Bay 58. You could not get the Black Bay Heritage GMT Pepsi bezel watch. Now, when those two watches came out, people were paying over retail and then close to retail. Now they're under retail, brand new or pre-owned. They're out there, especially with current market conditions. And for a while, Tudor was just so hot. The guy that used to buy Panerai watches transitioned into Tudor. This is something I've talked about in the past, but for those of you that have missed that in previous videos, I really have a strong opinion that the guys that used to like Panerai for being a tool watch got bored because they weren't coming out with anything that wasn't too new until recently, where they came out with some unique, very high priced for Panerai, unique material watches. But what you saw is the guys that liked the tool watches got into Tudor because Tudor was coming out with everything that was new, exciting, and then we saw Basel. We saw Basel last year, where the P01 came out, which was that kind of odd shape, vintage military inspired prototype watch, and everyone thought the Tudor sub would come out, and it didn't. And after that, the Tudor guys just moved on to other things, started moving on to other brands, or maybe paying over retail. Or what I think happened with those collectors, just based on working with so many collectors here at Del Rey Watch, is I think a lot of those collectors moved on to Omega with their Seamaster line. When you look at what Omega has done with their Seamaster line and changing it from the flat dial to now the textured wave dial and bringing back that classic feel in a modern spec for spec, better than a Rolex Submariner watch, it's really mind-blowing. And we just sold one, I think, for maybe $3,500. And when we're talking about a fraction of the price of a Submariner, it went like that. And it always does when we get those in. And so it's really interesting to note that for a couple months, about a year ago, I would say almost 20% of our sales or deals total, so inbound and outbound, for a 1 or 2 month period was close to 20% Tudor. Of course, now it's almost no Tudor at all, and it's shocking to me to see that, because we trade pre-owned, right? So whatever comes in the door goes out the door, and it doesn't matter to us. We don't discriminate against brands, just so long as people want them. And if people are asking for them or people are buying them, that means they want them, and so we take them in. But we're not seeing people sell Tudors to us, and we're also getting very little requests, and at the same time, the pricing has gone down. So long story short, why I think Tudor has died down is, one, they're no longer fueled by coming out with the latest and greatest. You had all the Tudor Black Bays that just came out one after the other. The Black Bay Chronograph, the Black Bay Chronograph, and then you had the Tudor Chronograph in the two-tone that looked a lot like a vintage Daytona, or at least some models. And then you had all of these different colors. Then you had the Harrods exclusive. And you had all these new things in the 58 in a smaller size. And it just stopped. Tudor stopped doing that, and they stopped attracting new buyers because there's a whole market full of those watches already that people bought and they want the latest and the greatest, and other brands came out with the latest and the greatest. And right now, I see those collectors really attracted towards or to the Wave Dial Omega Seamaster. And that's what I think is happening with Tudor. But I think it might be interesting. We have a few people here. Why don't I just pick up this camera and we'll walk through and we'll get the opinion of some people here. I think Federico's out there. Let's go. My business partner, Federico, I think he's out there doing some things. Let's go harass him a little bit and ask him about Tudor. Let's see what's going on here. We have Carlos. He's our photographer. Say hi, Carlos.
Hello.
What do you think about Tudor watches? Why do you think they're no longer popular?
I had a Tudor. I love Tudor. I love the watch. But my problem with Tudor is that you have one and you have all of them because they all look the same. So it really doesn't. I had the Black Bay with the red bezel and that was nice, but nothing really motivated me to like splurge and get the bronze one too, or get it in different colors, or the chronograph. I just feel that it doesn't have a lot of variety compared to, say, Omega.
But about a year, was that a year ago, or how long ago was that?
That was a year ago.
Did you really like Tudor?
I really love the watch, but when you have also like Rolex and other things in your collection, it kind of overlaps a little bit. So I thought that you're better off just having something either like more unique and vintage, or having, you know, a Rolex, which is something that is so solid and is guaranteed to just always be desirable. And it's always been in the market. It's not going to go away. You know, Tudor has come and gone.
Wow, well said. Well, hey, thanks. We'll let him get back to photography. We want to make sure we get this stuff on the site for you. Let's harass Federico over here. Federico, what do you think about Tudor? Why is it no longer popular?
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's not popular. I just think the hype died down, right? Because the new models came out, Pepsi, Black Bay 58. Truth is, they're not producing little of them as they do with Rolex. You know, Rolex, they have the kind of that fake inflation of demand. With Tudor, they produce as many as they can sell. Now, everybody that wants one has one, and it is what it is. People are not really talking about it. It also might be cyclical. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what I think.
Why is there no Tudor in your collection?
There just really isn't space for Tudor. Unfortunately, I'm pretty happy with my GP and my Rolex and sports watches. Excuse me.
He's got to take
Hey,
that, guys.
buddy, what's up?
Let's ask Batman.
Listen, I have a little problem.
Yeah, Batman's wearing a Grand Seiko hat. I don't think that he enjoys Tudor a whole lot. So there you have it, guys. You know, that is the general idea that we have of why Tudor has kind of died down recently. I think that if we see Basel come back, maybe next year, maybe there'll be some interesting developments in the form of Tudor releases, which will kind of reignite those Tudor collectors into purchasing more of the watches, making them more popular again. But I really see the prices going down gradually, and if you were in the market for a Black Bay 58 because of the smaller, slimmer, tapered case size, or you wanted the Black Bay Heritage GMT Pepsi, now's a great time to do so. Once again, we don't have these at delraywatch.com. For whatever reason, they're not floating around a lot out there, but the prices are pretty good. So if you go on the forums, you go on the Watch Recon, you go on Chrono24, some of the other places, I think you can probably snag a decent deal. But what do you guys think? What do you think about Tudor watches? Are any of you hardcore Tudor collectors? I would love to hear your opinions in the comments below. Please do not forget the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. You've been chatting with John P. Ciao.